I arrived in the Delano area late in the day just as a thunderstorm was getting fired up. The storm put on a show of rain, hail, and lightning that lasted well into the evening. The next morning was sunny and bright as I began my exploration at the Delano Mine. Its hoist house and other wooden structures were destroyed by fire in 1996. The remains at the mine include a compressed air tank made of riveted steel, a bullet-riddled water tank, and a few bits and pieces of equipment. This straight-six engine may have been used to power a generator or an air compressor. The current head frame at the Delano Mine is a fairly modern structure of welded steel tubes. With its tubular steel, crude welds, and ample rust, the head frame looks like an oversized piece of playground equipment from a world where children are encouraged to get tetanus. Silver ore was first discovered in this area in 1872, and by 1875 there were several mines in the newly created Delano Mining District. But the Delano Mine wasn't one of them. The Delano Mine wasn't discovered until 1921, although some sources say that work on the Delano Mine began in 1917. It would go on to become one of the biggest producers in the district. Ore from the mine yielded gold, silver, and lead, as well as smaller quantities of zinc and copper. The Delano Mine remained active through World War II and into the 1960s. Rails from the mine were originally supported by a wooden ramp from the shaft to the head frame. The ramp was destroyed in the 1996 fire and the rails have been removed. A few pieces of charred wood still cling to the head frame, along with a steel roller that supported the hoist cable. The upper end of the incline shaft is protected by a huge steel tube. A grate at the entrance keeps trespassers out. Judging by the rivet patterns and the way the tube was constructed, I think it may be an old railroad tank car with the ends cut off. Below the steel tube, the shaft is braced with heavy wooden timbers. Moving down the canyon, we find another tubular steel frame. This structure holds a trommel, a type of rotary screening device to separate ore by particle size. It's not clear to me why this trommel is located so far from the mine. There's nothing under the trommel now, but originally there would have been something to catch the particles that fall through the screens. In the early days, haulage was a major expense that reduced the profitability of the mine. Ore had to be hauled to the railroad in Tacoma, and water had to be hauled in from miles away. In 1925, a 20-ton concentration mill was built at a spring 7 miles west of the mine. By concentrating the ore, they reduced the amount of material that needed to be hauled to the railroad. Although the mine shut down in the 1960s, mineral exploration has continued. Drilling was done in the 1970s and the 1990s. After leaving the Delano Mine, I headed south a short distance where I found the ruins of a stone house. This is all that remains of the town of Delano. The town started as a mining camp, and by 1927 the camp had grown large enough that the Postal Service granted Delano a post office. But by the time the approval worked its way through the system, Delano was going through a downturn. The post office approval was rescinded. The stone walls of the house were covered with plaster. Where the plaster has fallen off, we can see that there was no mortar used between the stones. Delano used to be one of the best preserved ghost towns in the state. There were over 20 buildings in the area, as well as several wooden head frames and ore bins. Almost everything was destroyed by a massive fire in 1996. The only wooden buildings that survived are 2 tiny cabins at the Cleveland mine. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this look at Delano, Nevada and the Delano Mine. Be sure to check out some of my other videos featuring ghost towns, mines, and more.